Hello, everybody, and welcome to Quarter Up. This isn't Quarter Up, this is Slash Yell. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Slash Yell. Damn it.
Hi, everyone.
The internet show with the weirdest Twitch chat ever without being racist or in any other way crude. The pre-show chat was very, very weird today. There was a lot of bipolarism going around. It's apparently contagious, so be careful.
I'm a Gemini, man. What can I say?
Me too! High five.
All right.
Boom. This is Slash Yell. We are your live MMO news podcast, here to talk about all the news about MMOs and about MMOs
also
in beta.
Your podcast version, not necessarily live. If you're listening,
I said live MMO podcast,
which is a contradictory, but okay.
I mean, it's both. Anyways, ignoring the dumb voice, you will hear a smart voice in the form of Caydiem, who's joining us today, which is very exciting because Caydiem knows a lot about MMOs. Caydiem, why do you know so much about MMOs?
Because I have technically been in the MMO industry since about 2000.
Wow. That's longer than I've been alive. That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
That's not even close to true.
So
yes,
I've been in the industry a long time.
Caydiem is a dev, and we're not specifically talking about her game today, although we do have a little bit of news about Wildstar. Actually, we have a bit of news about Wildstar.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is. I'm really excited because she can provide a lot of insight into potentially like what behind the scenes led to certain decisions and so on and so forth. So that's exciting. But we're going to start off this show the same way we start off every show, which is Caydiem. How was your week this week?
It was really good. Got a lot of things done, a lot of improvements to the game, so I'm looking forward to those getting in. And other than that, it's actually been a pretty chill week.
Cool. Chill week is a good week. Inigo, what about you, buddy?
I've been playing a little bit of Wildstar. Actually, I'll go into gaming. I've been playing next because that's what we do in Slash Trade. But mostly work. And then I did the first old person thing I've ever done in my life on Saturday.
Which is what?
I went to one of those 90 minutes you come down and watch this seminar.
You actually went?
Yeah, I went. We went and did this seminar, and if you go down this seminar, you will win a 4-day, 3-night cruise.
Yeah, he did a timeshare seminar.
Yep.
Oh,
wow.
God, you're so old.
Yeah, and I did get, in fact, a 4-day, 3-night cruise, and I got 2 nights stay in a hotel in Las Vegas for free. So
all expenses paid by you.
By whoever's signing up for the timeshares.
Which is not you, hopefully.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what I did. What about you, Kurt?
My week was a little boring. I will say my computer's having some issues. That's like the highlight of my week is trying to fix my computer. It doesn't turn off using... Like, Windows doesn't turn off. So, in order to turn off my computer, I have to either...
Damn it, Cortana.
It's not Cortana. I mean, I really hope it's not Cortana. I can't let you do that, Krug. But yeah, whenever I use the shutdown button, it doesn't shut down. So I'm trying to figure out why that is. And I'm like talking to people that know what they're talking about, trying to figure out why that is. With absolutely no luck whatsoever. So that having been said, hopefully that problem doesn't manifest itself in some other way during Slash Trade, which is our next segment where we talk about the games that we've played this week. Do you like that transition? I'm really proud of that transition.
Good.
I guess I'll start off. This week I played a really fun game. Called Black Desert Online, and maybe that was this weekend. Was that last weekend? Anyways, Black Desert Online has been in closed beta. It has done 2 closed betas, and I've been a part of both. The last Black Desert Online closed beta was probably the worst experience I've ever had in a beta for any game ever, and that's no fault of the games. Very specifically, there were so many people in the game that I could not kill a mob because somebody else had already killed it. And if I did kill a mob, I wasn't the first person to hit it. And that's the only time you get credit for killing a mob. And it made me sad. I couldn't get past level, like, 3 or something. I don't remember.
That can be solved by design.
Well, how?
How? By
phasing, for one.
well, by making it so that everybody who hits a mob can get credit, by making it so that the thresholds on the mob spawns are such that the more people show up, the more are around, making it so that there are always some mobs up. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do.
I can tell you for a fact that none of those things were true.
At least during the beta.
At least during the beta, true. And
yeah.
I think I don't think it's going to be, like, you should have seen the number of people. I think they only had one server. It didn't feel like there were any like separate instances or shards or whatever you want to call that technology. Just the sheer number of players was astounding in that one zone. It was difficult to get into, to say the least. That having been said, the gameplay mechanics are still really fun, and I'm really excited for release, which is today. I'm really excited to get into playing that, but we can go into that a little bit more when we actually talk about that game. What about you guys? What have you guys been playing recently?
Well, I participated in Wildstar's Double XP weekend this weekend, and
Still going
got my
on, by the
warrior
way.
to 50. Yes.
Nice. Awesome.
Got my warrior to 50, so fourth 50.
Nice.
Pretty happy about that.
Nice.
And I also briefly logged into Guild Wars 2 after several years of being away from Guild Wars 2, and stared at my Elementalist, and realized I need to play a newbie again before I start playing that Elementalist.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that class
I don't
is
understand any of that.
complicated.
Yes.
That class
I
is
was
very-
good. Like 3 years ago, I was good.
I used
No.
to kick people's butts, but now I don't.
Gotta love the stance.
The stance is the best dance. It's
It is a good
super
dance.
complicated though. The meta is like, oh, this is how you play any other class, and it's like this long, and then it's like this is how you play Elementalist.
Yeah, it's just huge.
Super
I enjoy it.
crazy. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Indigo, did you talk about what game you played? I don't remember.
No. So I played a little bit of Smite this week, but MMO specifically wise, I hopped back into Wildstar because I've wanted to do Omnicore 1 again, and I realized that my main stalker had never done it, and that my other stalker had. And so then I made them even because that made me jealous. So I hopped in and did that. It's weird that I have like multiple stalker. Like I like leveling stalkers. I don't know why, but like that's
'Cause
my
you're
class.
OP in the early game? What? Huh?
No,
What? I didn't-
no, because I have a problem leveling medics, engineers, and spellslingers. It's really difficult for me to level them. I don't know why. I don't know.
2 of those are my 50s.
Yeah. See,
Medics
I have
are not hard to level at all. Like,
No.
you cannot die. It's
It
super
has
hard to
nothing to
die.
do with not dying. It's the
Well,
fact
okay,
that it
you
takes me
can
10
die,
minutes to kill things.
But if you,
Learn Quantum Cascade, bro.
yeah, seriously, like if you use any medic PVE build, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. Their AOE is bonkers.
I don't
And
know what it
obviously
is.
their sustain is bonkers because they're a medic. So yeah, that's what we've been playing. It's really fun. You should play those games. They're all really fun games. I also played Super Hot. If you haven't heard of Super Hot, I know I talked about this quarter up, but I want to talk about it again. Super Hot's really fun. It's a first-person shooter where the like little twist is your enemies only move when you move. So if you stop moving, you can kind of give yourself a little bit of time to pick and choose what your next move is. It sounds really easy. It's absolutely not really easy, and I would definitely recommend everybody give it a shot if you have the money to, and if you have the inkling to. And there's a like really short story. It's like 45 minutes, but it's not meant to be a story-driven game. It's meant to be more of like a challenge, like free play kind of game. But the story is, even though it's like really short, it's really satisfying. So I definitely recommend checking it out. It's really fun. Yeah, so I think that's Slash Trade. Those are some
Wait.
pretty fun games. Now into the meat and potatoes / zone, where we talk about the weekly discussions of MMO news.
Now, just so you guys know, we're changing up the format a little bit here. The order in which we're talking about this, the news, is alphabetical. So if your game doesn't get talked about first, it's not because we don't care about it. It's just because I thought alphabetical was the fairest.
Yeah, it's alphabetical by title of game.
Yes.
Sorry, WoW fans.
Yeah. So the first one is Black Desert Online. So normally this would be in our our looking for group chat, but if you are the lucky few that had enough money to spend 100, you could be playing Black Desert Online right meow. Krug, do you know anyone that
I know a couple of really cool dudes that they're independently wealthy and definitely have jobs currently.
Yes.
that paid that much for Black Desert Online so that they could have an early look because they're greedy early adopting people. It's Krug. It's me. I did that. I'm going to be probably playing it after the show. Well, okay, I'm going to log in and see if there are mobs to kill, and if there are, I'll play it. And if they're
Well,
not,
just think you're only playing against all the other rich people. So
if I were, oh yeah, that's true. It's gonna just be like, meh, I'm playing Black Desert right now. Meh. That's true. So there's probably gonna be like 4 people on. I'm gonna be one of 4.
yeah,
And the other 4 or the other 3 are gonna be level whatever, max level already.
that's if you went Conqueror. If you went Explorer, you can play March 1st. If you went Traveler, you'll be able to play on March 2nd. And then anyone else who bought their key after their specific time will be able to play on the 3rd, which is the actual official release date. So have fun.
I will say, in my defense, you gave more than $100 to Wildstar in sub fees.
So did you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the concept is not a foreign one.
And I'm going to be mean, but I would continue to give them more than that $100 every single month if I had a reason to sub.
You'd give them more than $100 every single month?
No. I'm saying I
those
was
are the
giving
words you
more
used.
than that $100. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
I
We'll
understood
talk
what
about
you
it when we get to Wildstar.
So everyone go out, have fun. There's something else I forgot to mention about Black Desert Online that it just popped in my head. The pricing for costumes also just dropped.
Oh.
So originally the costumes prices in their shop was going to be, I believe it was $32 or something like that per costume, which a lot of people were just yelling and screaming and kicking about because that's really expensive. That's really, really expensive.
Never
and
seen
so
that, and that makes me want to cry. I would never, ever pay that much for a costume. That's ridiculous.
So they dropped it down. It is now $29.
Are you talking about dollars or like in-game coiny
Nope.
things?
I'm talking about translating it over to dollar value.
That
Ugh.
is
I'm really hoping that you're wrong. That's disgusting.
rather expensive.
This is
Mhm.
quite
Market
expensive.
I'm aware.
I'm not down.
I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up while you talk about the next thing. How's that?
Sure, that's cool. So Blade and Soul, which by the way, I always get Blade and Soul and Black Desert confused, is introducing a new class, which is super exciting. The class is called a Warlock. It is
Yes.
a ranged caster, kind of like glass cannon-y, typical mage archetype thing. And what they say about the class is you can either keep enemies at bay or incapacitated long enough to be able to cast high damage abilities again, or reduce cooldown times through expert timing of other abilities. Which, again, glass cannon-y, like, I'm going to deal 1,000,000 damage to you, and then if you don't die, I'm going to run and CC you until I can do it again, kind of archetype.
Which, by the way, I wasn't a huge fan of Blade and Soul, like at least the characters that were there originally when I started playing. But this class actually looks really, really interesting and really, really cool. And I'm actually really, I think I want to go back and give it another try with this class.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it kind of goes up the alley of like the kind of gameplay I like, and you can like change time as well and like refresh your like your cooldowns. It seems really interesting and really cool.
And it has a pet that looks enormous.
And then Krug, I'm gonna send a link to you. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna send a link to you. I'm gonna add it to our notes. But it is the link to showing us your pricing for Black Desert Online, which is $32 for one costume. So,
Yep, you appear to be correct.
That's nuts.
so yeah, that's a crazy price. I'm gonna send a link out to chat. So if you guys are interested in the Blade and Soul Warlock, you guys can actually take a look at the video and watch it and tell us what you guys think. It looks like a really cool class. I'm really excited about it. Like Krug's still looking at that website.
This is actually bonkers. This is actually...
Yeah. Everybody reserve your chain-related names now in Blade and Soul, because Warlocks are all about chains.
Oh, that's true.
I know I have mine.
Is it weird that mine's gonna be changes?
It's not
That's
going to
fine.
be that.
Ah, dang.
There's no way you're getting that. No way.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I'm sorry. I need to move on from this. So, so the reduced price is really $29.99. That's still egregiously expensive. Oh my god. All right. Done
Mind
with
you,
that.
they are very pretty. They look very nice.
Don't give a single fuck, dude. If I can take it out of my computer, I'll pay $30 for it. Like,
Hey,
that's...
at what price point do you stop calling it microtransaction?
I thought it was $5. I mean, $10. Like, around $10. If I could buy actual clothing for the amount that it's charging me for a costume, like, I could get a nice t-shirt for $30, you know? I'd rather...
It just surprised me because it's a little bit higher than market standard, and when you're pricing any kind of MMO, you want to take a look at the market and try to be competitive.
Yeah.
So.
Either,
well, and not
either
only
they
that,
have some big cojones, or they didn't do that at all. Because that's...
Because I think what most people do, and correct me if I'm wrong, they look at the big guys, they look at World of Warcraft, and they look at the other ones that have the microtransactions and say, okay, they're pricing it at X. We're not as big as them, so we should look at pricing it slightly, either close to or slightly below that price value.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with how much manpower goes into making the costume, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, because if it takes 10 months to make one costume, I'm sure it's going to cost you a lot of money, and you want to make that back.
Yeah, but then you should really look at your process and kind of figure out how to make it less expensive for you to make a costume. If it's taking you twice as much, if your overhead is twice of another gaming studio to make a costume, you're probably doing something wrong, right? It can't be.
I got it. I figured it out. So this is an Eastern MMO. They made it over there.
Please don't be racist.
Then when they brought it over here, they just put the decimal in the wrong spot.
I don't think that's true.
$3.20.
I super don't think that's true.
Well, all right.
I super don't think that's true. Nope.
I don't.
It's also super cheap for a costume.
Yeah, super cheap. The economics, the cheaper it is, the more people are likely to buy it because it's at a lower price. So, anyways.
Nice try with the econ that isn't econ.
Well, that was, but whatever. So that's kind of it for our Blade and Soul. I mean, it's big news. It's a new class. Which how long has Blade and Soul been out? It's only been out a month, right?
Right.
In the
It's been out. Yeah, it's
Yes.
been out in the East longer, and this is really this patch has actually been out. In the Eastern Territories for a while, but now we're bringing it here. March 3rd, I believe, is when it launches. So, should be pretty good.
Direct competitor to Black Desert Online. I see what you guys are doing there. Watching you. It's okay. Once Black Desert Online started doing the release, I started seeing a lot more Arc Age advertisements all over the place, and I was like, I get it. I see what you're doing. Anyways.
That's how Tryon rolls. I say as a former employee of Tribe. I love those guys. They're actually really smart in terms of where they target their marketing. So. Yeah,
that's. I mean, a lot of companies do that. I'm not blaming anybody. It's just fun to watch as a consumer with my wallet being
and go, all right, I'm gonna keep that in my pocket.
Who wants some of this, baby? Feels so nice.
Anyways, so the next MMO we're moving on to is Final Fantasy. I thought this was great. They decided to add a little homage to the late great David Bowie by naming one of their mobs. What was it?
It's named Ziggy, and then there's a bunch of stardust around him.
Exactly. I thought it was great. I thought it was cute. I thought it was. I appreciated it.
Yeah, no, it's really nice.
Yeah. I like games that do stuff like this. I know World of Warcraft has a ton of it. I know Wildstar has a little bit of it. It's I always find it really interesting when the devs poke through that fourth wall.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
It adds I don't know. It doesn't break my immersion, but I think it kind of pulls me in further because it oh yeah, David Bowie, and then I think about all of the David Bowie things that I'm thinking about. Oh man, David Bowie's not here anymore, and that kind of gets the emotion going, and then I can kind of that kind of gets applied to the game. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm weird, but I think it triggers something really special when you can kind of break the fourth wall in this really specific way and get people kind of thinking about stuff.
And if we learned anything from Deadpool, breaking the fourth wall works.
Yes.
and from a design standpoint, this is something that we like to do as basically creative people, as artists, providing a homage to things that we enjoy and things that we miss and things along those lines. This is kind of a way for us to speak through our art.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
fair.
it's kind of always nice to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's great because the two pieces of Final Fantasy news we have are both music related.
Yes.
They're doing a music
I
contest.
was about to ask how that last one was music related because I was just looking at an image and then I was like, oh wait, David Bowie.
All right. So, all right. So
mute my
they're
mic.
doing a music contest. Krug, I think you pulled out all of this, like how to enter. and stuff
Yeah.
like-
Let me go over the rules and the prizes and stuff. So, it's called the Heavensward Music Contest, and basically what they're asking you to do is create your own rendition of an in-game song, and it can be done however you want. Let's go over the how to enter really quick. So, record a video of yourself performing your version of the song "Night in the Broom," and then I'm sure you can access that song on YouTube or something. You must submit the video in one of the following accepted resolutions, which is 720p or 1080p. You're free to choose how you would like to perform, arrange, and just basically put together your song. You can collaborate with other people, but they're only giving out one prize. So if you and somebody else work together, you're not both getting a prize if you win. The video must include footage of you performing the song, so you can't have the video entirely set to like some weird trippy background ambient graphic. They actually have to see you performing, and the video can't be longer than 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And what do you have to win? Well, the grand prize winner gets one decorative plaque signed by Final Fantasy sound director. Can't pronounce his name. Very sorry about that, but you can read it in the link because I'm not going to try. I'm going to butcher it. I'm very sorry. You get one in-game item package that includes one noble barding chocobo, one
Araman.
What was that? Aramon choker. Thank you. One. What about that word? Do you know that word?
Mandragora.
Mandragora choker. And I got this next one. One bluebird earring. I got that. Thank you. I'm going to bow. And you also get, and this is kind of the interesting one for me, one video message from the Final Fantasy sound director is going to be sent to the winner, which is pretty cool. Like, I don't know what he's going to say in it, but maybe he'll like talk about what he thought of your composition, or maybe he'll just like, it'll be some canned like, good job, and then like, that'll be it. I don't know, but that's pretty cool. I'm kind of into that.
I'm gonna try to pronunciate his name.
You're going to try to pronunciate it?
Yeah, pronunciate it. Masayoshi Soken. And,
Okay.
That's the closest my tongue can get without having someone else say it and then me repeat it. So,
Sure.
yes, I felt it was important to say his name because the music is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you guys have played Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge music nerd, and I'm especially a huge like video game music nerd. And something that's always been consistent is the high quality of Final Fantasy music.
Absolutely.
Final Fantasy 14 is no exception. There's some wonderful music in Final Fantasy 14, and I think this is a great example of how to highlight that and kind of give your composer a little bit more time in the spotlight.
Yep, I definitely agree that Final Fantasy music has literally always been awesome, like amazing. I remember Final Fantasy VII trying to play the intro song with my cousins, and it was like an absolute utter mess because we were all really young. But yeah, there's nothing bad to say about it. Neverwinter Online?
Yeah, sure. I can hop over to that. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, where we talked about the changes that they were making with the mount system. The fact is that now you can choose the speed of each one of your mounts, and that it's not directly related to what mount has what speed. This is actually just a deep dive by the devs that actually go into detail of how you will be able to do this and how the screens work and how the selections work. So if you want to get ahead of the game and you wanted to see how it works, or you're not really sure how to access that, this is the perfect place to go and see it.
Yeah, we talked about the concept before of changing from the system they had before, which was this mount is better than this other mount, so it is faster than this other mount, to the system that they have now, which is you earn the speed separately from the mount. So the mount is essentially a cosmetic piece, and the speed is something you earn separately from that, which is kind of what I'm used to because that's the way Wildstar did it, and Like that's just kind of the way I thought it was
every
done.
MMO I've ever played, like WoW did that too. Like
Yeah.
It just makes more sense to like let people pick the thing they think is pretty, or like honestly, sometimes people just want to ride a horse around. Like, why would you want to limit their ability to do that? So it's good. I'm happy that they made this change.
The other thing that's interesting in that article, though, is the insignia ad, and they talk about adding actual stats that affect you to the horse or a similar amount, and that is a very curious concept. I like that instead of having set bonuses that are set on the individual item, they're like, okay, if you put like 2 moons and a crown together, it gives you this bonus. Or, you know, like you mix and match. That's kind of an interesting way of going about it. But as always, adding extra stats to other things can be a little hairy. So I hope it works out well for them.
Right. Yeah. That
yes,
probably is not fun for balancing. I'd imagine.
No.
Like we're gonna add a new variable today. Oh fuck.
Yeah, something that they used to have is that each mount had a specific ability associated with it as well.
Right.
So you could be on the giant, the dire pig, and the dire pig had a rush ability that would knock someone down. Right. Now you can actually choose them by using this system.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm into it.
But yeah, this is a deep dive. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, here it is. It goes super into detail.
Mm-hmm.
So from Neverwinter Nights, now this game, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called how do you say that? Wildstar? Wildstar? You guys heard of that game?
No.
No?
Yes, I have. I've
Doesn't ring a
played
bell
it for a while.
With Wildstar, today is the last day for XP weekend.
Yes.
So if you're on right now and you're playing, you're receiving double the experience, so you're able to level up twice as quickly, being able to get you all the way up to 50 a lot sooner.
Which ends at midnight tonight. I don't know why there's a question mark there. That ends at midnight tonight. Ends at midnight.
Who
tonight.
wrote that, Krug?
I didn't write it. I may have written it.
Now, so this is I mentioned to Caydiem that I was gonna poke fun at her for this, but the one thing that bugs me about the weekends or these weekend events, because they do them every weekend, I believe, is a
not every weekend,
no,
but
not even close.
we scatter them out.
Yeah, it's I don't think there's like double prestige weekend, there's double XP weekend. What are some of the other ones that they have done?
We've also done a boss hunter weekend where like it cost fewer progenitor access particles to some of them. I almost said their abbreviation, but that's really not as good.
I was thinking about it too. I was like, that's really long. What's the abbreviation? Oh, nope. That's probably not a good term to use.
No.
Nope.
So but the problem with these weekends is that they kind of get sprung on us like on Monday or Tuesday of like, hey, by the way, this weekend, it's this weekend, instead of like having a calendar set up that people can go to, or even better, something that World of Warcraft does, which is has a in-game calendar that you can click on, and it will actually show you what events are going on what days, so that you can actually look at your schedule and actually like be involved with them if you want to. Because if I had a life, which I don't, let's be honest here, I wouldn't have. I would have said, okay, I'm gonna plan stuff for this weekend, and then I find out, oh, it's double prestige weekend. Well, fuck, I was really needing to get that extra prestige for my new tune that I just hit 50. So.
Yeah, well, we've talked a lot about potentially getting a calendar, and it's something we'd like to do. I don't have any sort of ETA about when that would happen, but it is something we talk about a lot.
Yeah, I think it would be really, really interesting. I think it needs, because you guys do have a lot of really cool events that happened randomly, not necessarily randomly, but like that happened throughout the year. Like the event that we just went through of the dungeon bosses, or the bosses that you had. That would be really nice to have those on a calendar, even though that you guys are planning on doing a specific press release on this one day, having them in the future allows a lot of people to be a little bit more involved.
Oh, for sure. I think it helps people plan their gaming time. It's important.
So the next thing is I can never pronounce this name.
Do you want me to do
Go
it
ahead
for
and
you?
try. No, you do it.
All right.
You do it. I'm not.
Destination Arctera.
Oh my god, that was perfect.
Yes!
It's almost as if
Correct.
it's super easy and pronounced exactly the way it's written.
Well done.
Anyways, I don't know why this is here. To be completely
AMA?
honest with. Oh, it's the AMA. Wow, I totally didn't write that down.
Nope. Good job.
We did an AMA this past week for
Yes.
Destination Arctera, our upcoming drop. So
Yes. So yes, who was all involved with it? I just like using the names because CRB Papulicious, and then my favorite CRB Spell Checker.
sure. That would be our game director, Chad Moore, who's Papulicious. We have Gary Asselford, one of our narrative designers, who is CRB Spellchecker, and actually our content lead, CRB Sunny, who's Justin Bartlett.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk
Yes.
about the name of the mods?
You can talk about that is not an official Carbine thing.
Yes. Okay.
The Reddit is not theirs.
It's not an official Carbine Reddit, but the mods names are okay. I'm not even gonna say them. Go to the Reddit. Go to the Wildstar subreddit and look at the mods. If you don't know where it is, it's the bottom of the right hand sidebar thing. Just look at the names of the moderators. They're golden.
Yeah, so check out the AMA that they did. I mentioned this earlier. I'm really, really loving the level of communication that Carbine has decided to do in 2016. I don't know what it's happened, but I think it has to do with someone becoming a new lead or something. I don't know. But yeah, just the level of communication has been astronomical. So yeah, they have an AMA. And then they also did another announcement this week, which is they actually gave us announcement about the PvP that's going to be changing, and the fact that there's no longer going to be a PvP server.
Yep.
Which
I don't think it's
yeah,
a bad thing.
it's not as bad as it sounds. They're merging the PvP and the PvE server together, and then what they're doing is that they don't want to get rid of the open world PvP that you would get from there. So what they're doing is they're adding incentive for people to actually flag themselves. So instead of before, which is if you flag yourself, the incentive is that you get to get ganked.
Right.
Like that was literally the incentive by flagging yourself or hoping to see someone else that's flagged before they see you. That was literally the only incentive, like to flag. But now they've added incentive if you flag yourself and you are leveling, or even if you've hit level 20, if you're killing something that would normally give you experience points, they're also going to give you prestige for killing them. You're also going to get extra gold for killing them while you're flagged. Like, yay, incentive.
Yes. Yeah, and for people who are concerned about the accidental flagging issues that people have seen in the past, we're absolutely working on that and making sure that we take care of that issue.
Yeah. I'm really happy with this change. I mean, I don't know how the PvP community is feeling directly about it. I mean, they're always salty, so I can't imagine that it's ecstatic, but I think these are really awesome changes. I'm looking forward to them. I'm hoping to get a little bit more open world PvP because I honestly haven't seen any open world PvP since servers opened and Krug and I were literally running around killing people.
No, I saw a bunch.
Did you?
Yeah, after we moved to Entity and we had to flag, I flagged and it wasn't horrible. I mean, I think I was in a minority of people that were experiencing like people actually ganking and having the opportunity to gank people, but it was there. I can only imagine that this is going to make it there in like a much more noticeable way, which is way better because that's what I like about open world PvP is when it's just like, well, damn, this is open world PvP. Like it's something that you can't avoid. If you opt into that lifestyle, you shouldn't be able to avoid it. That's just the thing that makes me happiest. You go into a zone and for sure there's going to be someone else there that is going to contest you being there. Like that's, oh, just gets my blood pumping and my cheeks a blushing. Whew, just gotta fan myself away. Oh man, sorry. So yeah, really excited for that change.
So has a question which I don't think any of us can answer, but we're gonna say it. He says, "Question: PVE gear is way more superior to PvP gear. How do you plan on addressing this?"
I thought his question was just that statement. I was like, that's not how questions work. That was a question mark at the end, but.
Yeah, so none of us can answer that because none of us, I mean, you're not the PvP lead, and while you are privy to information that we aren't, I mean, I don't know how much you would be able to say on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at it. We're aware of it. We're looking at it. I do not have more information for you at this point.
And I imagine that it's probably really difficult. I mean, I don't know, leveling PvP gear and PvE gear, because they are achieved differently, and making them equal to each other is probably really difficult. Or at least like making it, because if you make PvP gear too strong, then people are going to be wearing PvP gear in PvE instances to defeat bosses.
Sure.
And then if you have PvE gear that's powerful, people are going to be wearing that instead of PvP gear into yeah, that's anyways. Sorry. I know that got off into a tangent. I just was thinking
It's
about
a delicate
it outside.
balance. It's a
Yeah.
It
delicate
is,
balance.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of it for Wildstar news this week. I mean, it was quite a bit of news, but still, we're heading off onto another very small game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, called World of Warcraft. It's also teeny tiny.
Is that like Warcraft 3?
Yeah, it's like Warcraft 3 except for in space, I think.
Oh, right. Because you can see the whole
with
world.
the goats, with the space goats.
Right,
Yes,
that one.
Right.
Yes.
Space
Okay.
goats.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So I saw this week, and I thought it was a really interesting way to incentivize going through older raids and stuff like that. They have the Burning Crusade Time Walker. I don't know how long you were with Blizzard, Kate.
Oh, I worked on all of Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is right up your alley then. So if
Yep.
you hit level 71 or higher, and you can queue for a BC dungeon and get Time Warper badge. So if you queue for these dungeons, you're going to get an additional badge for doing this. The loot will also now scale to your level instead of previously, which is this is the set gear list. You're actually going to scale with what you have. And some of the dungeons are... Oh, Caydiem, you got to name these.
Sure. The Arcatraz, Black Morass, Magistress Terrace, Mana Tombs, the Shattered Halls, and the Slave Pens.
So I think this is cool. It's a way to incentivize people going back and re-going through the older content that probably doesn't get as much love as it used to.
You know what I just realized is I rarely read like dungeon names and stuff like that out loud. Some of those are fucked up sounding names. The Slave Pens. That's really messed up.
You haven't played
Naga, man.
But the Slave Pens are kind of fucking messed up.
You can't trust Naga. They're terrible people.
Yeah. Have you? Yeah, God, I forgot. When did you play World of Warcraft?
I don't know. What's the first expansion called?
Burning Crusade.
Probably Burning Crusade.
You think that one? That's the one that you
Burning
played?
Crusade, yeah.
That one was considered to be like... It was Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. I think Wrath of the Lich King was considered to be like one of the best. I don't know. I'm just saying off of...
I don't know either. Because
It depends on who you talk to.
Again, played it for 30 minutes. I don't think I touched expansion content.
Probably not.
I killed boars.
It depends on what race you chose.
Huh?
Because technically if
A
you
dwarf.
chose... Okay, so then you absolutely didn't touch it.
I don't even know that to be true. That's just what I would pick now. It would be a small black dwarf with an afro.
Okay, so I'm still subbed. I want to give you like a 1 week like sub, and I think you and I should just try. Just you and me. We'll stream it.
All right,
just
all right.
Try to play.
All
try
right.
to.
I'm down.
All right?
Can you just give me 1 week of free WoW? Can you magically make that happen? Do you have like some super cool connection?
I'm pretty sure there are invites. If not, I still have my Burning Crusade books that have 1 week subscription keys in every. It comes with like 5 1 week free subscription every book you buy.
Send me one. I'm down.
I think it's free to 20 now these days anyway.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can play up until 20. Yes, You're right. I think you're absolutely right.
That's easy mode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mind you, the level cap right now is 100. So, I mean, 20 isn't really a big deal.
20%. It's not even close to 20%. It's way less. There's so much in-game content. Never mind.
So the next thing, I'm actually really happy that you're on this week because we can actually talk about this. The Valentine's Day event ends on the 29th. So that's Monday the 29th. You will no longer be able to defeat the apothecary.
Apothecary.
God, whatever. You won't be able to defeat him after tomorrow. So how much of this were you involved? Because you said that this was kind of like the last piece that you worked on.
Yeah, it was the last major holiday that I worked on. The Valentine's event was actually in pretty early on, but it was also kind of bare bones. So what we ended up doing is we ended up going back and redoing it, similar to what we did with Hallow's End, and the Love is in the Air event, as it is now, where you go into Shadowfang Keep and you defeat Apothecary Hummel, and there's this whole storyline about this corrupt series of apothecaries like selling perfume that's in fact like corrupting people and kind of changing their minds and things along these lines, is what we introduced. And I worked on the storyline quests for a lot of that.
I will say I don't know how much of the holiday stuff is. I do really enjoy the amount and the difference in holidays that World of Warcraft has. Like, I really do enjoy, like, while it is kind of like, hey, we're gonna put Valentine's Day in World of Warcraft, it's also really fun that it is got a whole story and a whole backline to each one of the events. Yeah. I really enjoyed all of that. I thought it was really, really fun.
Well, here's a little insight into how we made the holidays a little bit. Let's take Midsummer Festival. Midsummer Festival was actually something that was requested by our European team because it's a major holiday in Europe.
Okay.
And they're like, so there are bonfires, and so we should have some bonfires around, and then there are witches. And we're like, maybe not witches in summer, just a thought. But things along those lines. And we're like, okay, well, we need to make a holiday with a bunch of bonfires. Like, how are we going to make this make sense within the world? And so we connected it to a lot of the Twilight cult and the elementals and the elemental lords and Ragnaros, things along these lines, and ended up making it a part of the world as well as, also a good reference for the real world.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that. Like, and there is a ton of holidays. Like, it really does feel that there's at least a holiday a month. It feels like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does feel like there's another holiday every single.
Gets close.
Yeah. I mean, because you guys also, you do Halloween, and then you still do Dios de la Muerta. So I did enjoy that.
Yes. And then there's Pilgrim's Bounty, but there's also Harvest Festival before that, which is based on a Korean holiday, I believe. Children's Day is based on a Korean holiday. We do Lunar New Year, Lunar Festival.
Which just passed.
Yeah, just passed. There's a lot of things we did to try to both make the calendar itself really full of fun events to do, and also kind of reference all of our communities that were coming into WoW, and not just the West.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So that there's the Valentine's Day ending stuff. Thank you so much for talking about that stuff. Like, I really enjoy that stuff, and I know we have a bunch of other stuff to still talk about. So I will stop my fanboying and continue on. I'll bug you later about stuff. So we don't usually go heavily into patch notes, but the next patch for World of Warcraft has come out. They did some bug fixes and some quick run around. So this is a hot fix. This is 6.2.3. They fixed. I mean, honestly, I looked at the list of stuff that they fixed. It doesn't look like it's anything substantial. It just looks like hey, we had some issues with some NPCs, changed one of the missions. Like, it looks very small, but if you guys want to take a look at it, right there's the patch notes and all the information for you guys.
Boom. Delivered. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours.
So that's it for our, the news. That's the big news for this week. Well, at least that's for the games that are out.
Yes.
So the next thing
now
we go over
to LFG, which is a discussion about beta games, which is honestly, I think, my favorite part of this show, because I love beta games. And also, beta games tend to release more statistics than other people, and I love statistics about games. Crowfall is talking about their first year being a thing since they started their Kickstarter. So apparently they've raised, is that right? That's an amount of money they've raised?
That's total fundings.
Are you sure? Because that's a fucking huge number.
If you go to their website right now, you click on that link that's there.
That's crazy.
They have 110,332 crows, which is number of people that have submitted some sort of money. Their total funding is $6,471,099. Yep.
That's a lot of money. Oh, okay. I guess I don't know how many people work for them, so that may not be like a lot of money. But coming from me, who will not make $6 million in my entire life, that's a lot of money. Just looking at, it's so big.
As far as I'm aware, that the team is actually pretty small. As far as my understanding, I haven't walked into their studios,
right.
But from my understanding, it's actually a pretty small team. That is a lot of money for most MMOs, as far as I'm aware, especially the ones that are crowdfunded, since there aren't a tremendous amount of crowdfunded MMOs out there.
And just $6 million crowdfunded is a lot of money, period. Like,
yeah, it takes a lot to make a game these days, though.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And that's definitely true. That's definitely true.
No, absolutely. And well, what the great thing about this is that this $6 million is money that they have to spend on their game that they don't have to turn around and make back to some other producer.
Right.
That's what's really nice, because
it's not an investment. It's just, here's your money in advance.
Yeah.
Now give me your game when you're done.
Exactly. So now what they're going to turn around and do, once the game is finished, they're then going to sell hard copies of the game, where people are then going to get involved then. And then that money is literally, unless they go over their $6 million mark of producing, or however much money that they've funded, that money's just theirs to start producing the next expansion or the next group of content.
Pay for servers, pay for buildings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't have to give it to anyone.
Yeah, I think this is really, really interesting. Like I said, there's two major MMOs that are coming out that are crowdfunded, which is Crowfall and Star Citizen.
Yes.
God, Cav would have killed me if I would have stumbled on that.
Well, you did stumble on that. They also
stumbled
released
anymore.
A super weird video. I think this video is super weird. Not because it's like bad or anything. It's good, and it's actually interesting. I'll just explain what it is. So, Mr. Mike McShaffery.
That's a name that doesn't sound inappropriate at all.
Nope. Who is the principal engineer for Crowfall, decided to walk us through how they set up game servers, which they do on Amazon. What was it? What's the service called? Oh, man. Anyways, it's one of the Amazon cloud computing services. I'm not familiar with exactly which one. It's just kind of random. Like, it's not a tutorial per se, because basically what he's saying is, the point he's trying to make is they can set up servers quickly. So he's explaining that, all I have to do is take this file that I made and upload it to Amazon and say, make a new server using this file. And then he just kind of shows how to do it. But he doesn't show how to make the file, which is the complicated part. Like, it has a bunch of code that represents the configuration of the server. And then it's up. And then he's like, oh yeah, and it takes about 15 minutes for it to boot after I click this button. All right, cool, thanks, bye. And that was it. And I was like, what was that supposed to, like, am I supposed to be impressed with you? Or I don't understand what that was trying to achieve.
Honestly, do you know what I think it is? I think it is that there are a lot of different people that they're still in the point that they're still accepting funding. They're still accepting people to bring in money. So while fun, cool, colorful videos are going to catch the majority of the people, I think them creating these behind the scenes stuff is getting different audience members. These are getting different people that are interested in the tech side that aren't necessarily.
So you think this is to try and get people to submit money, basically?
So here's the thing about that, right? Like, you read a lot of Kickstarters and things along those lines. You see a lot of dreamers, a lot of people who are like, look at the pretty art, look at my ideas. And there's not a lot of talk of like, this is practically how this is going to work. This is practically like, I've got it all set up, I've got the tech here, like, this is how it's going to go. There's not a lot of talk about it because frankly, it's not as sexy.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's still very important, particularly for people who are interested in investing, to know that that sort of thing is being worked on and to show that that's happening. And I think that's what that video is really supposed to be.
That makes sense. Because it for me as a consumer, I mean, I found it interesting because I find that that's not my job, but it's very clessly related to what I do for a living, and I found it interesting because of that.
That's your jam. That's what it is.
It is my jam. Servers are my jam. But like, I can't imagine the average person being like, "Oh, cool. What do you do next in Amazon to make that work? Oh man, look at that dashboard. It's so cool."
And I don't think it's supposed to hit everyone.
No,
I just think it's supposed to hit.
I think you guys are right. I think it's more of like a confidence booster. when
Yeah,
somebody,
it's a reassurance. It's
Yeah.
not like a cool thing.
someone wants to see real world application that like, hey, you have the technology under control. You can't just, it's not like you can just make a pretty UI and some pretty character models. You need to have the technical chops behind it too. And this is them trying to gain trust in that regard.
Yeah.
Right.
And these are also, you have to remember, these are also the guys that are sitting there live streaming character creation, like
Yeah.
creating models,
It's pretty
which
cool.
again, that you and I think that's cool, but I'm sure that there's a huge group of consumers that are just like, I don't give a fuck how you make these. Just make them look cool and let me play with them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there is a large group of people that do not care. Yeah, I just think they're trying to hit as many markets as they possibly can with this stuff.
It's understandable.
That being said, they are trying to not only create buzz amongst other people, they're also trying to get you to go out and spread the word. So they have a new contest, and we have to word this very correctly, as Caydiem reminded me. So the contest ends tomorrow. So you probably won't have very much time to get involved if you didn't know about it.
Right.
But your job is to take their logo, which they supply you their crow logo with a circle around it, and you have to put that logo somewhere in art, in landmarks, or any sort of really cool point of interest digitally.
Yes. So to be perfectly clear, do not take a physical copy of the logo and put it on Abraham Lincoln's knee and then take a picture. Do not take a physical copy of the logo and put it on a pyramid in Egypt and take a picture of it. Don't physically put the logo anywhere. Take a photo and then put the logo on the photo using Photoshop or GIMP or Paint if you want, and then submit it then. That's what you have to do. I just came up with a great idea. I'm gonna get a sticker or make a sticker or something in the next 2 hours because the contest is gonna end very soon. And then I'm gonna get a photo of like a landscape image and I'm gonna put the sticker on my monitor and then I'm gonna take a picture with my phone and send it to them. And then I'm gonna win $50. And then using that $50 I will buy a new monitor.
Well, except for the fact is that the money you win, if you win first place, you will get $50. Second place, you will get $25 of in-game currency.
Oh, I can't buy monitors with in-game currency?
No, you cannot. So this is money that you would be spending in-game. So this kind of leads to the fact that this game will probably have some microtransactions involved, which we knew about that. Yeah. We knew about that. Yeah. But it's saying, hey, if you win first place, we're going to give you $50 worth of our in-game currency. So
it's pretty cool. If you like the game, pretty cool.
Now they're planning on doing one a week for the next 4 weeks. So you'll
I actually didn't know that part.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it next week and the next week after that. But the problem is because they aren't announcing it until the week of the contest. You're going to hear it from us probably after the contest ends. So
right.
Have fun.
I guess we could just remind people.
Check out their check out their website.
Yeah, check out their website.
See what's coming up.
Which in chat, if you're watching live, it's there. And if you are listening to the podcast, head over to QueueTimes.com and there will be a /yell section that you can go to and look at all of our show notes, including this one. So leaving Crowfall and going back to Wildstar, because Wildstar actually had some PTR news this week. Mm-hmm. So PTR actually dropped, if I'm correct. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. What day was that? Tuesday?
It was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday. Not only will you be able to go through the new zone, which, by the way, I've been hearing a lot of really awesome stuff about it. You can also try the new raid. While it's not going to drop at the same time, they still want people to get into the new raid and check it out.
Is this
so it's really early testing.
Yes.
You're going to encounter bugs. You're going to see it in a pretty rough state, but it's very important that people come in, test it out, check it out, give us all your feedback, because the more feedback we get, the better we can make the encounters.
Fair
Absolutely.
Enough. Do you know is the kind of procedure behind getting into that? Do you have to already be attuned on live, or how does that work?
You can't be attuned on live to Red Moon.
Right, but I mean, do you have to be attuned for the current raids on live?
No, there's a dude that can teleport you there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So even if you're not attuned for raids and you want to get in on a little bit of raiding fun, You can do it in PTR.
Get a group of people that
For
are
basically
currently
free.
subscribed to Wildstar.
And it'll probably be harder because it'll be buggy and probably imbalanced. And then, you can beat it in its imbalanced state and then say that you did that. That'd be great, right? You can brag about that.
Yeah.
Or not.
The devs are actually working directly with the people who are testing it, jumping in and talking to them. And
oh, cool. That's awesome.
And taking their feedback. So please jump in. I know a lot of guilds have started. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, again, reiterating that while it is on PTR at the same time as Arcterra, they are not dropping at the same time. So,
right.
Be aware of that. Don't see when the new zone actually drops. Going, where's Red Moon? Why can't I get there? So, yeah.
And yet, still, there's going to be that one guy who. Just...
I mean, it is only slightly beneficial to test your product a long time before it comes out. I mean, just
super beneficial.
Just a little bit.
Just super beneficial. Bit. As we learned in Quarter Up when Indigo surrendered.
Victory.
So that being said, to get into PTR, you do have to have a current subscription.
Yes.
To get into PTR. If you do not, you can go to Wildstar, their official website, and you can actually get a subscription there. Or if you are in game, you can actually spend some in-game plat and get cred, and that will also count as a month of subscription. So those are two ways that you guys can get in there and do that.
And it's never been a better time to subscribe, actually, because we just added with this recent patch an increase in the amount of omnibits you get when you're subscribed. So you actually get 200% more. Oh. And the weekly cap is also raised 200%.
Oh, that's great, because I remember originally that one of the big questions was did omnibits count as a currency? Because you get a currency boost with your subscription.
Right. And it did not.
Originally it didn't, I believe.
Yeah.
Right, but this is separate, but we added this on this most recent patch. So it just started this week, and it's been great.
That's awesome.
Oh, very cool. I did not know that. So I'm glad you're on.
That's what I'm here for.
So that's it for PTR Wildstar news. The last little bit of news that we have this week, astronomical numbers. So the division...
Well, it's not even about the astronomical numbers. It's about the super interesting numbers. Like, these are bonkers to me. So the division had 6.4 million. I'm starting from the beginning. So the division had 6.4 million players in its beta total over the course of the 2 closed betas that they did, or the 1 closed beta, the 1 open beta that they did. And they just released some interesting statistics about it, just to kind of let people know how it went. So there was an average of 5 hours of playtime. I can tell you that I played much more than 5 hours of that game. An average of 2 hours spent in the PvP zone. What's it called? What's the zone called? Indigo? The dark something? Anyways,
dark zone.
The PvP zone. This is the interesting part, though. It says almost 50% of agents turned rogue. Now, for those of you that don't know what turning rogue is in this game, turning rogue is when you're in the PvP zone and you attack somebody who's not already rogue. So you attack somebody who's innocent who just entered the PvP zone, you become a rogue. And what becoming rogue means is that anyone can attack you with no consequence. Except for, of course, you'll probably start fighting back and then they'd have to fight you and not die. That would be like the one quote-unquote consequence. But that's so baffling to me that less than 50% of the players that went into that PvP zone didn't initiate combat with another player. They were attacked by other players maybe, but they never initiated combat. That's, to me, speaks volumes about how scary that PvP zone is. Like, you can work so hard. You can get a full inventory of like super great gear, but in order to use it, you have to extract it from the zone, which means you have to go to one of a couple of set locations on the map and shoot a big flare off in the sky that gives every other player within vicinity notice that there is a pickup going on at this location, and it gives them a countdown timer so everybody knows that you're there, and then you have to hide and hope that nobody comes and kills you and steals all your gear. That is why nobody wanted to go rogue in that game. And I think that mechanic is so good and just beautiful and awesome, and it just makes me so happy. There are also 63,309,800 contaminated items successfully extracted. I would have loved to know how many were not successfully extracted, like how many times somebody picked something up and then dropped it on the ground. That would have been much more interesting. I think that number would have been much higher, like a lot higher.
Probably.
Because the people that
failed at extracting something.
Yeah. Or the number of players that rage quit after dying with a full number or with a full inventory.
Oh.
Those are the times that I quit. Like, it got to the point where I was consciously saying to myself, next time I die with a full inventory is when I'm getting off, because I know that's when I'm going to want to get off, when I die with a full inventory of items. It's very punishing. But yeah, congratulations to them. Can't wait to start playing it March 8th. On March 8th.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yes.
Is that the end?
That is our news. I do have one piece of fail news, but I'm gonna hold it off until next week.
Okay.
Because it's slightly depressing.
Tease people with it.
That being said, that is the end of /Yell. Right after /Yell, we're actually going to announce the winner for the division giveaway. And if you don't win, don't worry. We are doing one more week, and we're giving away one more copy of the division on next week's episode. So stick around. Monday, you're gonna get another link out there and make your second attempt to win. So that being said, Caydiem, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter as @TizCaydiem, and they can also always poke me on the Wildstar forums if they have any questions about Wildstar. And just as a reminder, anything I said today was my opinion and not that of my company.
Absolutely.
Krug, what about you? Where can people find you?
You can reach me on Twitter @KrugQT. You can also email me. My email address is Krug, CROOG, @QueueTimes.com. And if you want to get a hold of me, Indigo, and Doc, you can email all of us at yell@QueueTimes.com. What about you, buddy?
You can reach me on Twitter @IndigoJonesQT. You can reach me via email at indigo@QueueTimes.com. You can reach Kruger and myself on Twitter @_QueueTimes. And that's about it, guys. You can see you guys next time. Never mind. Sorry, I got excited for no reason. So that being said, that's the end of our show. Thank you so much. And
hey, thanks for having me on.
Oh,
yeah,
seriously,
anytime.
Thank you for coming on. And like I told you earlier, I'm gonna bug the hell out of you to come on again later. So Krug, you want to do the giveaway now? You ready?
Yeah. Hold on. Wait. I need to do the thing that ends the podcast first, and then we do.
Okay.
So ready? Mwah.
You're
Okay.
so thankful.